Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. And I am really excited about today's video because I get to highlight some favorites when it comes to the BluTube community. So today we are going to look at 5 BluTubers that I recommend you check out that currently, as of the making of this video, and hopefully that changes as the days go on here, but they currently all have less than 1,000 subscribers. So I've done this a couple of other times in the past. Honestly, I meant to do this one last year to make it kind of an annual thing, but it never happened. And so I decided to revisit what I started working on last year, update it for the current times, and then film it today. But basically, I'm just going to share with you guys some BluTube channels that if you like what I do here, chances are you'll like what they have to offer, and they just have not yet gotten over that 1,000 subscriber count. So before we get into this, I feel like I do want to make a couple disclaimers. So first off, no one on this list today has any idea that they are going to be featured or highlighted, whatever you want to call it. No one's asked to be a part of this at all. Nothing like that. This is just simply 5 channels that I watch, that I enjoy, and more importantly, 5 channels that I watch that I think you guys would enjoy as well if you don't already subscribe to them. Number 2, the 1,000 subscriber mark. Let's talk about that just a little bit. So the reason I talk 1,000 subscribers is because that is the seemingly arbitrary number that YouTube has come up with that you have to meet as a content creator on this platform in order to be allowed into the YouTube partner program. You also have to have over a certain number of watch hours as well. I believe it's like 4,000 or 40,000. I don't know exactly, but you have to meet both of those criteria in order to be a part of the partner program, which allows you to monetize your videos. So if you guys watching this video today, you may have seen ads. Because I am a part of that partner program, I get a very minuscule amount, a percentage of the ad revenue from those ads from YouTube. And that's me monetizing my channel. The YouTube creators I'm going to talk about today, you might watch their videos and you might see ads on their videos, but because they're not a part of that program, they are not profiting from that at all. Instead, all that money is going to YouTube. That's kind of just a general basic look at it. So none of these creators have expressed the need or desire to be above 1,000 subscribers. I just know as someone who it took a while to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, that was one of my goals. And so any way to get a little bit of help getting there along the way, I always appreciate it. Third, I want to emphasize that just because these channels have not yet hit this arbitrary number, that does not at all mean that these are not successful YouTube channels. For my money, every single channel I'm talking about today is a successful YouTube channel. And the way I look at it is that if these individuals are sitting down week in or week out or month in and month out, depending on the channel I'll talk about, and they're putting themselves out there, they're sitting down in front of a camera and they are creating content, creating something to share with others. We put ourselves out there in order for others to critique or comment on. And so it takes a unique or a weird individual to do something like that. And that willingness to do that, the drive to do that is what makes a person successful in my eyes. So please don't think that I'm trying to say that these channels need 1,000 to be successful. That's not the case at all. And frankly, I have no idea what their goals are. Maybe they have no interest in being a part of the YouTube partner program, and that's totally fine. At the end of the day, if I'm getting more eyes on these creators, that's really all that matters. If one of you watching this video today goes and clicks subscribe on one of the 5 channels I'm talking about, then I will consider this a successful endeavor. But with those disclaimers out of the way, let's do this, guys. Before we do though, real quick, hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. But with that said, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right into the 5 BluTubers with under 1,000 subscribers that I think you should check out. So for the most part with this list, I am going to go in alphabetical order, excluding the first channel I talk about. And the reason for that is twofold. So the first channel I want to highlight today is called VHS Voyage. And this is run by Matt and Devin. So this is a channel that if you are a retro video game YouTube watcher like myself, you might be familiar with just because Matt is better known as Retro Wolf 88. So he actually has quite a large following, all things considered, on YouTube. I think like close to 15,000 subscribers. And so much higher number than what we'd be talking about today. But this is his second channel that he does with his really good friend, Devin. And the reason I'm putting this number one is one, because of that. He does have a bit more of a following behind him. But number two, this is not a traditional BluTube channel. It's a movie YouTube channel. In fact, you could probably call it a VHS YouTube channel because that's exactly what they talk about. Basically, what we follow on VHS Voyage are these two friends, and I don't know how long they've been friends, but I'm guessing for quite a while because they have excellent chemistry together. They go out, they hunt for some VHS tapes that they've either never heard of before or have never seen before, and then they bring it back to the house, they watch it in the VHS format, they're watching that actual VHS tape, and then they sit down and they review the movie. The best part about this entire thing, though, is that all of the reviews are spoiler free. So if you are someone like me that doesn't like spoilers, then you can watch something like this because they are keeping them as spoiler free as possible. This is actually the youngest channel that I'm going to talk about today, at only about 8 months old, and their current subscriber count is 702 subscribers, again, as of filming, as all of these numbers will be. So they are just shy of 300 subs away from hitting that YouTube partner program, much like Matt has with his Retro Wolf 88 channel. So check these guys out if you're interested in movie reviews. And what's really cool is that they run the gamut. They'll give you something that you've never heard of before, something that may just be only on VHS or even just kind of an obscure DVD release, all the way to something like Heat or Brazil, which I actually just watched their Brazil review yesterday, and it was great. Like, Brazil's a fantastic film, and just the way they talk about it, I think is really fun because it's kind of like myself, like approaching the subject as just a fan of movies, trying to learn and trying to soak up anything you can in the film, as opposed to like an expert looking down on the film. That's much more the style that I prefer. So they have an excellent aesthetic with their introduction. I think is really cool, that VHS style. They have a good 3-camera setup, I guess it would be. And so it never gets boring to look at, unlike mine, which is a simple 1-camera setup. And so, yeah, that's the style that you're getting here. And I think they do it really well. So the reason I put them first is because they are a little different. You're not going to get traditional hauls or anything like that. They actually have an Instagram where they go over everything they've picked up there. So definitely check that out if you're interested in the VHS format. But yeah, definitely recommend Matt and Devin over at VHS Voyage. Check them out if you do enjoy kind of strange and random movie reviews. All right, so everything else here on the list is just going to be in alphabetical order because these are more traditional BluTube channels. So the second channel I want to highlight today is Mike over at Movie Edge. Mike currently has about 582 subscribers, I believe, as of filming. And Mike is someone I've been watching for quite a while. He does not post as frequently as some of the others on this list. Typically speaking, he'll stick to one Blu-ray haul a month where he'll cover basically any media he picked up, Blu-rays, DVDs, 4K. If he has like collectibles that are interesting, he'll show those off. He does a lot of Disney Movie Club exclusive things as well, which I find pretty unique because it's not something I have ever subscribed to at all. So I think I found Mike's channel a couple of years ago because he has been a big supporter of me here on Cinefessions. He always comments on my videos and he leaves a ton of knowledge down in the comments. Mike has an excellent mind for what's going on in the physical media world, whether it's a movie that has like an unrated cut that you can only get on DVD or something that was never released on DVD in a certain format, whatever the case is, he has just a good like pulse on the hand on the pulse of this. You know what I'm trying to say. He knows what's going on in that world. And so that's super important to me as someone who talks about this, 3 times a week. And I always get knowledge from him in not only the comments he leaves me, but in his his videos. And so that's why I really enjoy watching his videos. He does have more of a vlog style, which frankly, I think the other, like 3 of the other 4 I'm going to talk about today also have more of a vlog style where it's very little editing. It's just him sitting in his room showcasing what he picked up. This is absolutely a Blu-ray haul channel, and not just movie hauls. Mike also does collection tours. Like last year, I believe it was, he did a collection tour of all of his best picture winners, and that was just a lot of fun to watch. So outside of hauls, which he does mostly, there are some other types of videos sprinkled in there that are just a lot of fun to watch. I love his personality, his demeanor. It's just like sitting and talking with a friend, which is exactly what I love to see out of my BluTubers. So highly recommend Mike over at Movie Edge if you enjoy Blu-ray hauls with a really good personality and you'd love to know more and learn more about the physical media format as you're watching some videos. The third channel I want to highlight today is Peppermint Tribe, which is ran by Ken, and he's also the closest to hitting that 1,000 subscriber milestone. He currently has 912 subscribers. So Ken actually was on my list initially when I started making this about a year ago, but then he stopped doing YouTube content for about almost a year, I guess it was, but a handful of months ago, he did get back into it, and now he is posting more consistent content again. So Ken is huge on Dollar Tree, Big Lots, and thrift store finds. That's what the majority of his videos are covering, and he also does very much a vlog style. So very little editing on his videos, but if you're cool with that, you'll enjoy his videos because he has such a great personality. When you sit down and watch his videos, it's like watching a friend talk about movies, just sharing with you everything that he's picked up. And so I love watching his videos. His long ones are a ton of fun just because that's where he tends to get in more of his stories, which are just fun to listen to. So I know that style isn't going to be for everybody, but if you're into that, I definitely recommend this. Ken has a huge collection. You can see it in the background of his videos. He basically has a room dedicated to his collection, maybe even more, and there's like dividers in the middle of the room to add more movies on. Like, it's insane. He is willing to pick up virtually anything that he hasn't seen before that looks mildly interesting, and so you always get some unique titles in his hauls, which I think is a lot of fun to watch. And so definitely recommend Ken over at Peppermint Tribe if you love haul videos and you just want to hear someone talk about film, because that love of film comes through in every video he does. So really fun channel. Check out Peppermint Tribe. The next channel that I'm excited to finally get to talk about is the Physical Media Man. So this is Joe over at the Physical Media Man page, and he is a bit of a legend here on YouTube. And so the fact that he doesn't have over 1,000 subscribers is pretty shocking to me because it feels like everybody knows the Physical Media Man. And one thing that I think really helps that is his amazing intro. It is the best earworm in all of YouTube. And if you don't believe me, just go listen to it and then come back and tell me I'm wrong, because it's amazing. I love his intro. It's just so much fun. But Joe is just an awesome guy from his videos and by all accounts of people that have run into him in the wild. And so I love watching Joe's videos. He does a video every single week where he's either highlighting a specific portion of his collection. He has currently, I think it's at like part 14 or part 15 of his Blu-ray collection tour, where he takes a letter every week and just goes through and shows you everything that he has on Blu-ray. I watched I believe his entire DVD collection tour. There was a bunch of parts to that as well. He will not only do collection tours, but he does hauls every month. So everything that he picked up in the previous month, and he does everything that he's watched. So you do get movie reviews as well. So you get a whole bunch of different things, all movie related, and some other physical media in there as well. He does some collectibles. Oh, he also does wrestling. So clearly he's a good guy. He talks wrestling on his channel. So I love the Physical Media Man channel. And so definitely recommend this one. I'm so surprised because of how well known he seems to be. I see people mention him in comments all the time. I'm surprised that he doesn't have such, an even bigger following than he does. And so hopefully he will be able to get past that 1,000 mark and enter into that YouTube partner program again, if he so chooses, if that's what he wants to do, because I think he absolutely deserves it. it. In my eyes, Joe is a staple of the BluTube community. He's a disc replay fanatic, much like myself. I think he's down in Indiana, so not too terribly far from me, where they still have disc replays. And he has a very eclectic mix of different video types, which is always fun. Again, he has more of a vlog style where there's not a ton of editing, which I have absolutely no issue with, because again, the personality really shines through on something like that. Unlike myself, where I cut relatively often because I'm just terrible at talking. With these individuals, they just have to keep going, and they do such a great job of it. So I definitely recommend this extremely underrated BluTube channel. If you haven't already, check out Joe over at the Physical Media Man channel. Last but certainly not least, I have to talk about John over at PlatX2. So John currently has 898 subscribers, which, like, on one hand is really cool because that means he's super close to breaking that 1,000 subscriber mark. But on the other hand, this man deserves 20 times the number of subscribers that he has, because he has been consistently putting out content for years now, and he is great at what he does. Not only is he a really fun to watch BluTuber, but he's also just an awesome guy. So John does this interview series on his channel called The Five, and I was fortunate enough to be invited onto that interview series sometime last year, and I spent, I don't know, 90 minutes, however long it was, an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it was, just chit-chatting with John about his different questions that he had about physical media and about movies in general, and it was an absolute blast. I'd never spoken to John in person before that, and it took seconds for me to feel comfortable with him and just to feel like I was talking to an old friend. And that's just the mark of someone who is very personable, and that personality shines through in his videos. And so I cannot recommend him enough. I would probably argue that of all the channels I've talked about today, the one that is most closely aligned to what I do here on Cinefessions has to be the PlatX2 channel, because John talks all movies, music, and books. And so if you like what I do with all things media, you'll probably be into what he does, because frankly, he just does it better than I do it. One, his aesthetic is a lot more interesting than what I have going on. I just love the music he uses. His editing is done well. It's just a professionally put together channel, which is why I say he just deserves more love. But really the reason he deserves more is just because he is such a good person. And I'm not the only one to say that. He has tons of friends in the BluTube community that always support him. And you don't get those people trying to support you and you know, fighting for you, sponsoring you, unless you are someone who is worthy of their time. And so I love watching John's content. I love talking with him when I did. I hope to be, you know, a part of his channel again in the future. He's just an awesome content creator. I'll also mention that if you are a fan of classic cinema, John is where it's at, because he'll go back to the 20s and 30s in a lot of his hauls and his collection tours and just his different video ideas, which frankly, there are so many ideas that he has that he's willing to take a shot on. And so because of that, that creativity is just so fun to watch. So I absolutely recommend you checking his channel out if you haven't already, which you probably already do. Watch him if you're watching me, but I can't recommend John enough over at PlatX2. So that one will be the last recommendation for today, is John over at the PlatX2 channel. All right, so those are 5 BluTubers with under 1,000 subscribers that I really think you guys should check out. If you like what I do here, chances are you're going to enjoy them. Some of them probably even better than you enjoy what I do, but I can't recommend their channels enough. They just do such great work, and they need to be recognized more for that work that they do. So give them a follow. All of their links will be in the description below. Check them out. I'm sure they would appreciate you hitting subscribe as well, because again, I don't know that they want to be a part of the YouTube partner program, but they might as well have the opportunity to make some, you know, sense, because that's basically all we make off of this is pennies off of the work that they do. But anyway, guys, let me know down in the comments below, do you recommend any other BluTube channels that might have a smaller following that I should check out? These are not everybody I follow, of course, and there are some channels that I love, but they have more followers and more subscribers, so I just didn't talk about them today, but I eventually want to talk about them them at some point because I love their work. And so the more channels that I'm able to highlight, the better in my eyes. Of course, I'm a small YouTuber myself. I'm frankly a tiny, minuscule YouTuber. And so me talking about them doesn't get as many eyes on them if someone who, you know, has 10 times the subscriber count that I do. But hey, you know, I just want to talk about these guys because I think they're absolutely worth talking about and worth watching. So let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are on these guys and anybody else down there. I appreciate any and all comments, so thank you so much for that support. That said, if you guys enjoyed this one, or if you found a single channel that you went and checked out, hit that like button down below. That really does help me out. And like I always say, I don't just talk BluTubers, I talk all things media. Books, movies, video games, graphic novels, manga, wrestling. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I want to encourage you to go down into that description box and hit those links and click subscribe on these awesome BluTubers. I will catch you all next time.